Welcome back to Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. Welcome, man. I got a first timer in the studio with me, man of an agent of change. He works with our kids in the school system. He's got a new children's book that he just came out with, and he's just a dope individual that we are about to learn about. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bryan Carroll. Good morning, sir. Welcome.
How's it going, man?
I'm pretty good, bro. We met at the help me remember.
Suited Houston.
That's right.
Yeah.
Suited Houston. Yes. We were at U of H downtown. A bunch of gentlemen who were in the Upward Bound program.
Yeah.
Was there. We teach them how to tie ties and just to show them that men of color are doing big things and you can still look like this to be, successful. It was a dope thing, and
very good experience.
we started talking about the school system.
Yes,
and I was like, yo, I got to have you on Access Houston because you are an educator and you know what is going on. So let's tackle some of these issues. First of all, how's the school year going so far?
The school I'm at now, and I just started there. It's a good experience. It's cool. I love working with the kids. I love the opportunity to really invest in them on a consistent basis and to see them day by day, because all statistical data shoots towards consistency. So getting to see them on a day-to-day basis, I think that's a beautiful thing. So you get an opportunity to really get a feel for them. Because a lot of times people think about teaching, they think it's just coming in and teaching math or science, but it's really getting into that kid's head and seeing what drives them, what pushes them, what they love, what they hate, how can we get them to the next level? Because when we think about a test, it's so much bigger than a test.
Yeah, I don't think standardized testings to position a child based on that particular performance isn't fair.
I agree.
Because everybody doesn't learn the same.
I agree. When I saw a picture on Instagram one time, and it was a bunch of pictures a bunch of animals that you'll see in the jungle. Right. Now, if there's a monkey teaching, but you have an elephant, then you have a rhinoceros, then you have a gazelle, and you have a lion there. The only one that will benefit in the class is the one that's in the monkey family, Right. So because they speak the same language. Right. So we have to think about the different ways of teaching and the different models and the things that, help to drive people's learning. And I personally didn't learn how I learned until 26 years old. And I'm an educator, and I didn't experience success in school. All my teachers are surprised. I was actually the problem child that was thrown into the special class, and
wasn't nothing wrong with you.
Wasn't nothing wrong. The thing about it is, it was boring. It wasn't stimulating. And in anything, when you're learning, you need to be engaged. Right. That's why I'm the most engaging. In my class that I was working in a couple of years ago, my first 5 years, I had kids. You had to be labeled emotionally disturbed to be in my class. And I took kids that had never experienced success in school and made them start learning. They couldn't even hardly read. What
was your tactic? Every teacher has a different method of way of teaching the kids. What did you do?
I want to figure out what's their why. Because my mindset was this: if I knew that I would go to jail for coming to school with some handlebars in my pocket or some weed and smelling like weed, then I wouldn't do it. But they would come to school
even still
high with 20, 30. I done seen kids 20, 30 pills pull out their pocket. People doing all types of stuff. And I said, why are you doing all this stuff to self-destruct? To hurt your future. Why do you not care? So as I started diving in and pulling off the layers of why they didn't care, I started learning what drive them. And it was really just a lack of self-worth. So we start working on that, and I start, just making it engaging, making fun. I had a class with 12 kids. It was a behavior class, and the behavior class is off the chains. That's where they throw furniture, they fight, they put them in there because they're supposed to be these really aggressive kids. But I said, I don't decorate that well, so you're not about to mess this class up. Then I had 10 boys and 2 girls. I walked around the class with a football in my hand. to create order, you could only talk if the ball was in your hand. So that alleviated people just randomly blurting things out, because that's a big issue. So you can only talk if you catch the ball, and you could only answer if you caught the ball. So when I threw the ball to them, I was teaching resilience and I was teaching order, because most kids won't even answer if they don't read that well and don't know the answer. You might get cussed out and they'll walk out the class just on the strength of, I'm feeling insecure, you trying to put me on the spot. So now I had them participating, and then I would throw the ball. So if they dropped it, I had to throw it to them again for them to catch it. So now I done got them to give 5, because some of them couldn't catch. You done gave about 5, 6, 7 chances until you got the answer right. So I taught you that you never quit. I taught that resilience, and I kept them engaged, and we were actually learning, you know, just from something simple like that. And at recess, I played with them. You know, recess is the best part of the day. I still think that as a teacher. You know, recess the best part of the day. At lunch, I ate with them. I was daddy.
You was that teacher, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
daddy for real.
we did that, and I didn't allow them to sit down. Oh, you don't want to do your work? Okay, I'm gonna call your mom. What am I there for if I gotta call the principal or call your mom every time something happens, or your grandmama, or the group home you live in? You know, I sat there. I imposed my will on them, because my will was what was best for them. I loved them, so I had their best interest at heart. So we was gonna get it in. I demanded it. You had kids that they would sit certain kids in the back of the classroom on laptops. We ain't doing it in my class. If I say copy these notes, we don't copy these notes. If it's independent reading time, we're gonna read, because I know that statistics say that 1 in 4 in Harris County are illiterate. So you can connect
1 in 4.
Yes, you can connect literacy or illiteracy with crime. You can connect that with unemployment. You can connect that with anything. Because when you know how to read, you free your mind. I'm not talking about just blurting out the word, but I'm talking about comprehending it.
Yeah.
Once you know how to read, your star scores can go up. Everything. You open up a whole new world to yourself.
Indeed. You listen to Access Houston. We're talking to educator Bryan Carroll. Speaking of reading, you have a book.
Yeah.
It's called Super Sharing. Yeah. I see the nice illustration and everything here, bro. What is this book about?
Well, it's about not recycling your pain. Basically, you know, my Instagram name is Super Carroll. So I thought of that. I was like, man, I just want to do things in a super way, because I would walk around the school, at the elementary school I used to work on my first year teaching, and the kids just thought I was a superhero. And I was at a football.
You do have a sash. You do look like Black Lightning walking around here, you know, guns out and everything.
I was at a football workout and I had broke my hand. So some of the kids in the hallway asked me what happened, and I said I beat up a shark. So a rumor spread around the whole school. Mr. Carroll beat up a shark. Mr. Carroll beat up a shark. So I said, man, these kids really hang on everything I say. So I said, I'm going to start going into class and telling stories. I would literally make up stories, and they would have a social skills lesson tied to it. And, you know, I would make myself seem super, you know. So then one day God was like, you know, you should write some children's books. I've never experienced a lot of success in writing classes in school. Never thought of myself as an author, but I would sit down and literally something would overtake me, and I would write these books in like 5 or 10 minutes. And I started sending them to my sister who writes, and she said, man, these are dope. And I was like, for real? So I said, I'm gonna get it edited and start doing that. And I use that to do my social skills lessons.
I love it, because you even have an exercise in the back of the book after they're done reading the story. I see a crossword puzzle, some fill in the blanks, a questionnaire. Okay.
And that kind of goes back to what we talked about, different styles of learning. Because I could listen to an audio book, and that's more productive to me as opposed to just reading it. You know, I could be cleaning, working out, doing anything, listen to an audio book, and I just know it. As opposed to if I'm reading, I got to do it slow and kind of take my notes and go over it. So it's different styles of learning. So I have different ways. I'm going to do audios. I got the work pages in the back to attack every part of the way people learn, to make sure they really getting it, because I don't want them to just read the book and not understand what sharing is.
Yeah. Super sharing is an example of treating others as we want to be treated. In the beginning of the story, young Super Carroll felt left out by the other kids, and he did not like that feeling. As the story grows, he gets a cool new toy in return. He treats the other kids the same way they treated him, which is wrong. Once they saw that he hurt the other kids' feelings, he quickly changed his attitude. Super young Carroll understood that he was not sharing and displaying love, so he changed his actions to display super sharing. That's That's on the back of the book. Man, where can people get this? Is it available yet?
Yeah. The link is in my bio on my Instagram
On your
page.
IG? Super Carroll.
Super Carroll. SuperCarroll. So get the book. I'm gonna be going to elementary schools to do book readings. It's gonna be an activity day. Super Carroll. Fun day. We're gonna go there. We're gonna read the book, do a social skills lesson. We're gonna work on the work pages. Then we're gonna go outside. We're gonna turn up.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun. You got to go get on the jungle, the jungle gym, and go do some cartwheels, monkey bars.
Okay, so I love how you're putting everything that kids are kind of into. You know, athletics. You know, is there a music component to it? I mean, I'm sure you got sports in there. We got the reading in there. Like you're just an all around dope teacher. I can imagine the kids love.
I try to freestyle my
to
kids, but I can't rap it up. But I guess that's what makes it so funny because I suck. You know.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. That is what makes it fun. So yeah, what else is it that you would like the community to help do when it comes to these kids in school and just with everything that's going on? Like how can we kind of help you with the kids as the old African proverb goes, it takes a village to raise a child. We got away from that. So what is it that we can do to help you?
Well,
help them.
First, we got to get ourselves out of the box. We think education just means in school.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna love your child like you. So if your child in middle school or high school and they can't read, you got to look in the mirror, and we have to take a bigger stance, being more in control of what's going on with our kids in our communities, because there's a lot of people out here who don't really care about our kids that are making decisions that are really affecting our communities and our kids. So you go out to certain communities that are better off socioeconomically, they don't have all the issues in the schools with them changing the staff all the time or having other people coming in and taking over the schools, or the gentrification, because they're taking a stance. If they don't like the principal or the superintendent and what they're doing in that community, then they get them out of there and they get somebody who serves their interests. We have to start figuring out what's going on, what we want, and start working for our interests. And I think a big start is with the literacy. If we get the literacy together, that's going to change the scores, that's going to change the academics, and that's going to change the mindset, because you take a child that can't read, then what are they privy to? That's doing slavery.
Right.
They didn't want us to know how to read.
Right. Yeah.
Because
I mean, the whole civil
read,
rights movement was about education.
And I ain't just talking about math and English in the classroom. I'm talking about educating yourself. We got these brothers. I know guys getting out of jail, some old students, you know what I'm saying, from the schools I used to work at. You got felonies and you trying to go work for somebody, go get a trade. Because when you go get a trade, especially with something like Harvard that just happened, you can go make bank and you can work for yourself. Yeah. Instead of trying to go get a job at a place where you really don't want to be at.
Right.
And working should be purpose driven.
I got partners that have been locked up, was at a private owned prison, did their time, but while they were there, like they were, making furniture for Ashley or putting in motherboards for, Dell PCs and things of that nature. And one of my homies who got out, he tried to actually get a job at Ashley, and he couldn't get the job. And he like, man, it's just so frustrating. Like, I know they furniture better than they probably do. I was like, yeah, you can't get that job. Like,
you served your time.
You served that time. Like, the prison is slavery remixed.
But they guaranteeing 92% occupancy in Harris County with the private prisons. 92%.
92%. That is crazy.
So they really don't care whether you did it. They gotta feel. They gotta get them numbers.
Yeah.
Because that's where the money at, and that's sad.
It is sad, bro. Give out your IG one more time.
Super Carroll. SuperCarroll.
Bryan Carroll, athletics intelligence, and also the founder of C.U.R.E. C.U.R.E. What's the acronym for C.U.R.E?
Community Under Reconstruction Through Education. I'm starting an early learning center. It's going to be a daycare / early child learning center. I'm a father, and I've always been like, man, I don't want my child to go to daycare. So I said, why not create one? You know, so that gives me an opportunity to get the kids early, because too often we get these kids and try to mentor them at 17. He already broke into 10 houses,
Right.
broke into 2 cars, served 3 months, and got a broken spirit. And it's not too late, but it's a lot harder then.
Right.
But if we can get him when he's 7, when he looks at the man that walks past him like, man, I want to be like that one day, he's a lot more moldable at a younger age. So I said, let's start getting these kids, making sure they know how to read. My sister knew how to read when she was 3. And I see kids doing that. That's the goal for baby Super Carroll, my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, I want her reading. I want her understanding, you know, what she has access to in this world. And we get these kids early and start molding them. You know, and another entity with the athletic intelligence, the athletic piece, work with a lot of athletes. I played college ball, played at Division I level, played a little pro ball, and worked that journey of trying to make it to the league and continuously working out.
What was Super Carroll? Was he a cornerback, wide receiver?
Receiver.
Yeah.
I still got the juice a little.
Yeah.
Little something.
Like I be trying to tell, like I be trying to guess guys' positions by how their body stature, especially when they say they play. I be guessing like, well, you were okay, that's what's up. That is what's up.
But a big issue that I have is that every young black boy want to be in the NBA or the NFL, and it's not enough space.
It's not enough.
Less than 2% of college football players make it to the league.
Yeah, even LeBron himself said we don't need no more LeBron James. We need more engineers and doctors and scientists.
So I ain't saying don't try. Yeah, what I'm saying, if you want to spend, everybody want to ball his life, they spending 3-4 hours training. I know kids where you got SEC, ACC, and Big 12 schools want to recruit them, but you reading on the 4th and 5th grade level.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
You know, so we have to educate them and help them to realize that there's so much more to life, so you can have something to work for the inevitable. If you got a 98% chance of doing something, when you're in college, you up there all summer, you can go to one of the sessions, you train with the team, the other session, go study abroad. Go take them. You at a university like University of Texas, and you ain't taking advantage of none of the networking opportunities you got. You know, I got friends that played in the league 4 or 5 years, and they got nothing to show for it now. You know, so we got to make better decisions for ourselves, educating ourselves, because you can graduate high school with your associates. So after you can go into college with your associates, then in 2 years get your bachelor's, then in 2 years after that, which will be your 4th year of college, have your master's. And they done paid for it all on scholarship.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
So
yeah. Bryan Carroll, Super Carroll. As is that what your students call you? They call you. They call you Super.
I try to get the teachers to do it, but they don't always do it.
Super Carroll. The book is Super Sharing, which is available right now, man.
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon.com. Yeah, that's what's up. Order that. Super Sharing by Bryan Carroll. Man, I hope you come back on the program. We didn't delve into everything that we got that we wanted to, but. Open invite, my G. I like what you're doing. A black male teacher that wants to make a difference, with our kids. Like the last I heard, it's a shortage of people like you, black male teachers. Yeah, I hear that it's not a lot of them, and you're doing a lot. So thank you for being a change agent with our kids, man. I really appreciate that. Mr. Bryan Carroll, make sure you pick up the book, Super Sharing, bro. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. From SpringWorld International Fest. She's a first-timer, so guys, be nice about it. The lovely Nicole Cummings. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Again, my name's Nicole Lopez. I'm PR director for SpringWorld International Fest.
And that is such a great thing. It's happening next weekend, or this coming weekend, I should say, yes. Easter weekend, March 31st. For those who may not be familiar with SpringWorld International Festival, please explain to the people what it's all about.
Yeah, so SpringWorld International Festival is the state's largest international festival, and it was formerly known as Easter Thrill Fest. So, yeah.
all the
Yes.
eggs and stuff. Okay, go ahead. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes, we got
that
the
just
eggs.
clicked. That was just a real time. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
So we'll have like an annual attendance of like 20,000 people. So a whole lot of people coming into Discovery Green, really to just celebrate and embrace cultural diversity in our city.
Well, that's what Houston is.
Yeah, I mean, we
mean-
are like a giant melting pot.
Yeah, we just surpassed New York City as the most diverse city in the country.
Yes.
Ethnically,
And
yeah.
so with so many people have limited availability to travel,
Mm-hmm.
we decided why not have it all in one place? Why not include everybody, every race, creed, color,
Yeah.
and bring them down at one time and celebrate that?
And celebrate that. Yeah.
Yes.
It's always a good time. I love seeing the kids because you all have what I believe to be, in terms of my own life experience,
Mm-hmm.
the largest Easter egg hunt. There are so many eggs out there.
Yes.
I mean, am I being hyperbole if I say
No,
about
no.
50,000?
100,000 Easter eggs.
I was thinking 100,000. I was like, let me not go too far. So 50. Okay, so my first mind was right.
Yes.
100,000 eggs.
100,000 Easter eggs, and there will be a golden ticket. So kiddos, come on out, find the golden ticket. I'm not allowed to release what the prize is yet, but y'all, it'll be really good.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really good.
I'm sure it is. I mean, you've got Youth Yahoo Inc. as the host organizers here.
Yeah, so Youth Yahoo Inc. is Young Americans here on operation. And really what that organization does, so all the money from International Festival goes right back into Youth Yahoo. And what they do is they provide cultural arts programs for inner city youth school children. So at a time where budgets are being pulled back,
Like
that is
crazy.
like crazy. So that's what they do. They really embrace the arts and really help educate the children in our community on, diversity and includes so many programs in the school age for
That's
the school age
great.
children.
I mean, shout out to Youth Yahoo Inc. because if it wasn't for you all with a couple of other, after school and arts programs, I don't know where the kids would be. I
Yeah.
mean, because as we said, they're pulling programs left and right in schools, due to budget cuts or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And so with groups like Youth Yahoo Inc. helping to save the kids.
Yes, I mean, it keeps them engaged,
Right.
keeps them involved, and keeps them out of trouble.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's an amazing organization.
Indeed. You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Nicole Lopez from SpringWorld International Fest, which is happening on Saturday, March the 31st, down at Discovery Green. Of course, volunteers are something that you guys are always looking for. How can people
Volunteers-
sign up and stuff?
Yes, so volunteers and donations
And donations. Yeah,
are
I was going to cover that.
very
one.
much accepted right now. So you can go to the event website at springworldfest.com if you'd like to be a vendor or register to volunteer. And then also, if you would like to donate prizes or anything, we're going to have lots of stuff going on that day. McDonald's has a children's setup. There's going to be face painting and crafts and all kinds of stuff. But you can contact us if you'd like to donate at 713-651-0344, or you can go online to www.youthY.org.
Hey, I am there now. What a nice website
Thank
you guys have here.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Very interactive, and I see where you can fill out the form to volunteer. Very simple.
Yes. We like to make it simple.
Yeah, and to donate as well.
Yes.
Besides that, what other things coming later on in the year that we should know about?
Yeah.
That you guys have coming up.
Yeah, so Youth Yahoo does partake in the citywide organizations events as well. So we've got the citywide does their Easter egg hunt as well, and then we've got the Thanksgiving Day feast and also the Christmas super feast at the George R. Brown. So we've got a whole calendar of events that we do through the year, but right now the SpringWorld International Fest, that's where it's at. That's where everybody needs to be that Saturday.
Yep, from 10 until
4:30 p.m. on March 31st at Discovery Green Park, downtown Houston.
Bring the kids. It's going to be a great time. I'm telling you, that Easter egg hunt is like no other because, Nicole, we've got a lot of folks that are moving to Houston. Like,
Yes.
I mean, it's it's crazy of the influx of people that are coming from everywhere, from New York, Chicago,
Yes.
St. Louis, even over from Louisiana and Georgia, Alabama, like just
And internationally as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
I mean, the International Fest is a great time to not only celebrate different diversity, different cultures, but also you can celebrate your own while you're there too.
Yeah, while
So
you're-
it's
yeah.
it's an amazing opportunity.
I always tell my friends, I said, listen, when you come here to Houston to visit me, you cannot automatically assume that a person is of a certain race or ethnic group because of how they look. You will not know what they are until they speak.
Yes.
That's how international Houston is.
Yes.
That's how international Houston is. So, Nicole, thank you for stopping by. Listen, save the date for Saturday. This Saturday, March 31st, down at Discovery Green for SpringWorld International Fest from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. They're going to have the Easter egg hunt. Thanks, McDonald's, for coming through and painting the kids' faces. That's one of the sponsors. And it's just going to be a great time. So bring the family.
Yes.
And thank you, Nicole, for coming through.
Thank you so much for having us. We genuinely appreciate y'all's support.
Oh, you are so very welcome. And thank you for listening to Access Houston.